I just pulled 500 rounds of this Super Extra 22 long rifle out of the bunker. Stay tuned to find out why. Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm gonna unbox another Taurus today, and this is one that I'm really excited about unboxing and shooting because it's one that you guys have been recommending to me for months, and not just one of you, but like hundreds of you. And this is the new Taurus TX22. I guess it's not quite so new, but it's new to me. And Taurus nor anyone else sends any free guns to this channel. So if you guys want to help out the channel, keep reviews like this going, the links are down in the description. Thanks guys. So we're going to take a look and see what's going on here. We have our owner's manual with some additional paperwork, which is nice, especially if you're new to guns or new to this type of pistol. Read your owner's manual, seriously. Alright, we have the gun itself. I chose the black. It's also available in FDE and maybe some other colors. It looks like we have a second magazine. A magazine speed loader. A barrel thread adapter. And, of course, the famous Taurus gun lock, which some of you love and some of you hate, but it's in there. Alright, so let's take a look at this. I'm excited, guys, seriously. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I'm not the biggest 22 guy, but I like them, and right now it seems to be one of the more available ammos, and it's pretty cheap. And like I showed you guys earlier, I bought up a bunch of 22 years ago, just in case, so I'm happy that I have some of this right here, as well as a few other offerings that I'm definitely going to take out and shoot. I'm actually going to test a wide variety of 22 in this at the range very soon. So we've got the chamber flag in it from the factory. It's a orange zip tie, but that works. Alright, so what do we have here? Well, this is chambered in 22 long rifle. It's a striker fired, polymer framed, single action pistol. And I'll tell you right off the bat, just immediately picking it up, it already feels quite comfortable in the hands. I'll get into the grip and the ergonomics of it in just a little bit here, but the first thing I'm noticing is this thing is just so lightweight. Even with the empty magazine in here, it weighs practically nothing. In fact, I think it weighs in at just over 17 ounces. So that makes this much lighter than most guns of its size, because it does have more of a full size or mid-size. Glock 19, I'll say, would be a good reference as far as the overall size of this pistol. The overall length is just over 7 inches. It's about 5.5 inches tall, and it features a 4.1 inch barrel. So I think that puts it in the mid-size, or nowadays considered to be full-size by a lot of people's standards. So there you go. It's a nice size pistol, but it weighs almost nothing. It weighs the same as some pocket pistols that I have. So it's one of those that as soon as I picked it up, you almost want to like throw it through the ceiling because you don't realize your own strength, or because it's that light, right? Alright, let's take the magazine out of here. Now, this is something that's really cool about this pistol. This is 16 rounds. And if you've been around 22s for a while, normally they have single stack 10 round mags. Now that has to do with the 22 long rifle. And I'll grab a round that I have right here. This is a rimmed cartridge, and due to the rim and just the overall shape of the loaded cartridge, something called rim lock can occur, and it can be hard apparently to make double stack mags. So in the past you would normally see pistols this size that would just have a single stack 10 round mag. Well, Taurus has figured out how to do a double stack mag, and this mag is polymer with a clear viewing sight window all the way down both sides. This is just open space here. Polymer, the mag weighs next to nothing. But 16 rounds, that's awesome. Now they do make a 10 round version if you live in a banned state, so that's another option for you. But I, of course, with no magazine restrictions here in Michigan, opted for the 16 round because that's actually one of the things that's making me most excited about this pistol is its capacity. So we got 16 rounds on tap. As far as the frame goes, polymer design, it has a very mild texture on the side of it. Kind of like a sandpaper grit, but of the most mild form. Definitely less grit to it than even the Taurus G2C, and certainly less than the new G3C, just for a reference there. It does have one swell here, finger groove, if you will, in the front, which does match up just fine to my middle finger. That's okay. I can easily fit my whole hand with plenty of room to spare with the pinky, so that's nice. The thumb and forefinger and the webbing of my hand rest nicely in a rather generous beaver tail, so it looks like there's really no chance, at least the way I'm gripping it, to have any type of slide bite. That's awesome. I will notice though, as far as ergonomics go, just holding on to it, it kind of feels comfortable to me, but actually kind of not. You'll notice there's kind of a rear hump in the back here. That just for me, my preference isn't quite hitting my hand just right. Does it feel comfortable overall? This is the unboxing, guys. First time I've actually held this. Yes, comfortable enough, but only kind of. It definitely does not have the ergonomics of my G3, G2C, or G3C. I'm just being honest with you guys. So I'm going to say one thing Taurus could do to improve this right now. I don't see where the magazine would really interfere with it. They need to have removable back straps, guys, because some of you guys, and please chime in the comments, are going to love this rear hump. I'm not loving it. I'm really not. So it's okay. It's doable, but definitely not the most comfortable in my hand. I'm also noticing it feels much wider. They're listing this at 1.25 inches. So just a little wider than like a G2C or G3. But I think it has to do with this hump in the back. And can you guys see that? It just, your hand rides nice and high and recessed in up here. This is good. We have a recessed trigger guard. That's also nice to get the middle finger up. This is all good. This part of the grip is fine with me, non-textured. I actually prefer for this top area to be smooth. There's just something about that hump. So these are honest unboxings. I may end up loving this pistol, but I'm just not loving the grip so far. But we'll move on. This is available in two options. One that has a frame mounted safety, one that does not. I ended up getting the manual frame safety, and this is ambi. Left side, right side. When you actuate it from either side, both levers flip up. It appears it does not lock the slide, the safety. However, it is going to stop the trigger from pulling. So there you go. This also includes what they call a trigger safety. It's not a blade like you'd think. It actually has a nice wide, rather comfortable trigger shoe, I will say that. And wow, that was nice. We'll get into the trigger pull in just a second, but that was nice. But they do call it a safe action trigger in that it has to pivot before it'll break. So if you squeeze it from if you pull from the top here, it's not going to go. You actually have to be down on the lower portion. So that's considered a safety, as well as a drop safety built into the slide. They call this a striker block. So it is drop safe. So there's the three manual forms of safety, if you will, on the pistol. It comes with a left side mag catch, mag release button here. It does not appear that it's drop free right off the bat. There we go. I probably just didn't depress it. And this comes back to this hump, this grip angle. I'm not able to actually completely push with my thumb here because this hump is pushing my hand away. So I actually have to reposition to be able to push it in, and then it does drop free. So it is drop free. And I will notice there's a shrouding around the mag catch, which is nice to keep you from inadvertently dropping the mag. Now, this is not ambi, but it can be reversed for you lefties over to here, or some people who like to release the mag with their shooting finger. So this is a reversible mag catch, mag release button, and there's instructions in the manual on how to do that. Looks like it's pretty easy actually. So that's a pretty cool option. It does feature a left side mag catch release. So it's going to hold the slide open. Let me show you this first on an empty round. So there you go. The follower does hold the slide open for you. And then if you want to hold it open manually, you'll just pull the slide to the rear while pressing up with your thumb. It's hard to get that camera angle, guys. Just push up on this with the slide fully to the rear, and you're going to be able to lock your slide open. And it's very hard to do on camera. And I would note, this is kind of low profile. It's not the easiest mag catch to get a hold of. And I'm going to call this a mag catch. Yes, you can push down and the slide will go forward. Taurus does recommend that you charge this pistol by grasping the slide, pulling to the rear, and letting it go forward. So you guys can decide for yourself. I'm not sure if it's going to damage the gun if you use this as a release, but for whatever reason, Taurus is telling you the preferred method is to load like this. And this is how I usually chamber around anyway. So there you go. It has a rather large squared off front trigger guard with a little stop here. For those of you that like to grip like this, I do not. I like to shoot more on a thumbs forward in this position, so this doesn't really matter to me, but it's there if you like it. It does have a standard 1913 or Picatinny rail in the front with 2 slots and a generous amount of real estate here. So most of the lights, and I can test lights on this later if you guys are interested. Always leave requests down in the comments, by the way, guys. So there's for your light, laser, bayonet, and whatnot. All right, I'm just taking another peek at it here. Now, part of what makes this so lightweight is this. We've got polymer. Polymer in the frame, largely polymer magazine, except for a thin, small steel magazine spring, obviously. And then the slide. The slide is made out of aluminum with a hard coat anodized finish on it, which is nice. The barrel is a steel alloy, so it's going to be a little lighter than a straight steel barrel, and the barrel is rather thin, being 22. Don't worry, guys, there's no cameraman, nobody in the room. I know what's behind the camera, so we're perfectly safe right now, just to let you know. Now you're going to notice this does have a threaded barrel, and it comes with a thread protector / muzzle nut. Okay, if you're going to be running it without any type of compensator or, you know, any sound suppression or anything like that. But this is where this adapter comes into place, and it will adapt from the threads that come on the barrel to a 1/2 by 28 pattern, which is very common for 9mm 5.56 223 muzzle devices. So this is a nice adapter here, 1/2 by 28. Look it up, it's very standard, and you'll find a million things that you could thread onto this pistol. Looks like it has a polymer guide rod here. Yeah, nice lightweight aluminum slide. It has rear serrations in the back, which are plenty. They're generous, rather long length. Same thing in the front, generous front. This would be for those that are into press checking. Right there, easy. Not sharp enough where it hurts, but plenty enough grip just to grab on. Now the sights, these are kind of the classic Taurus sights, if you will. If you're familiar with the G2C or the G3, these are going to look very familiar. In fact, I believe these are the same exact sights that they put on the G2C, G3, and others. Not the G3C though, because that takes Glock sights. So right here, we're going to see we have 2 white dots in the rear sight, a single white dot in the front, and the rear sight is adjustable for both windage and elevation with those little flathead screws. So there you go. And any of the aftermarket sights that have been available for the G2C or the full-size G3 should work just fine with the TX22. And I like these sights. Right away I'm able to get a nice good sight picture, and yeah, they're good. Like I said, there's aftermarket options available, but I'll probably roll with these for a while. These are pretty nice sights, actually. Alright, now earlier I was kind of just messing around and I accidentally pulled the trigger. So let's see what the trigger pulls like. Now with 22s, let me say this first. Some 22s, especially older ones, you definitely do not want to dry fire. So as a rule of thumb, always check with each specific model you have before you ever dry fire a 22, because 22s are rim fire, meaning they strike the outside of the rim, and you can do damage to either your firing pin, striker, or the actual breech face if you're dry firing some 22s. But with the TX22, as far as I can tell, is dry fire safe, especially since you have to dry fire it to take it apart. So we are going to dry fire this TX22, and I believe it's totally fine. Alright, so like I said earlier, we have a polymer trigger shoe that's very wide and generous. There's no blade safety. It's a safe action because if you go to pull it at about the 50% or above mark, it just won't pull. You have to come down below, and then you feel it like a secondary little spring compress, and then it can be pulled. So it actually does have a trigger safety. Not too much unlike maybe a Smith & Wesson Shield, even though that uses a hinge trigger. It's kind of the same concept a little bit. So we're going to pull the trigger here. This is single action only. I feel just a little bit of grit and take up, and that would be in this trigger safety. I can definitely feel it. You guys hear that? There's just a slight bit of grinding. That's fine. This is brand new, by the way, too. No break-in yet. A lot of times triggers clean up a ton after you've put a couple hundred rounds through them. Okay, so a little bit of take up. I hit a wall, and then it's very short and crisp, and actually quite pleasant. Oh yeah, oh yeah. See, it's one thing when you're sitting here doing a video, and I show you guys just so you can see it, but when you're analyzing every little bit, you notice the little nuances, a little bit of grittiness, a wall, very crisp and sharp. But when I actually grab onto the darn thing and just pull the trigger, very light and crisp. Wow. And the reset's nice too. Let's check that reset out. Yeah, the reset's quick, it's short, very crisp. So, wow. I just let it go accidentally, guys. It's hard to do this on camera at the right angles. All right. Reset is right there. And then instantly, nice sharp crisp pull. Let's check out the reset again. There we go. Yeah, this trigger's nice, guys. Wow. So the trigger, I would say, feels very, very good. I'm not exactly sure how many pounds it is. I'm going to guess probably in the 5 pound-ish range, but I'll check it out later on a gauge. It's just a little deceiving because you have that first stage, which is the trigger safety, before you actually get to the true trigger pull. Now with the slide mounted safety, I'm going to engage it in the up position. Safety's on, and it just basically stops you. You get the trigger safety slack, and then you just hit a hard wall, and it's just not going to pull. So for some people, they're going to really like that on their 22. Some people are going to hate it. You guys have your own theories on having frame mounted safeties on striker fire guns, but I think it's fine, especially since I'm going to use this gun to help teach a couple new shooters in the real near future, actually. And I think sometimes it's nice to have a manual safety. And then when they get to carrying, then they can learn, you know, pistols that don't have a safety on them. Kind of a weird little frame scallop here. This is kind of for styling, but it also makes a little area for me to put my trigger finger, kind of to rest it in to keep it, you know, high and safe. It's all right. The overall air goes. It's light. That's cool. The slide feels pretty smooth, very lightweight, okay? The pistol, like I said, weighs like 17 ounces. 17.3, I think, technically. That's nice. The sights are typical Taurus sights that I'm familiar with, which are also nice. The texturing's fine. I'm not a huge fan of this hump, this finger groove. That's okay. I really like the undercut trigger, but I'm not liking the hump in the back, guys. The gun feels just a little bit wide for me, and it feels like right here, right in this portion of my hand, it's wanting to kick my hand back and alter my grip angle. It's almost like if I could just get with some sandpaper and just knock this off, which I'm probably not going to do because it's probably thin polymer here and it'll ruin the pistol, but I really, really, really think Taurus could improve this pistol a lot. So if Taurus is listening, even though I know you don't know who I am, replaceable back straps would be awesome. If they think a lot of people like this grip angle, I assure you everybody doesn't. So ultimately, I'm going to really judge it when I take it out to shoot it, and I'm going to do that very soon. So my first overall impressions of it, I'm going to say are good. I can't say awesome or great like I did right out of the box for the G2C, G3, G3C, and that just has to do once and for all this hump in the back and this finger groove that I'm not a fan of. But the trigger being awesome, the gun being very lightweight, it takes the Taurus sights, which means there's definitely some aftermarket options. The threaded barrel is awesome, right? And the fact that it takes 16 rounds and it's a 22 long rifle. These are all reasons why I'm really liking the pistol. The accessory rail is great. So it does have a lot going for it. I think it looks good, but I'm just going to say good and not excellent. So your hand might be different than mine. The way you like to grip a pistol, this may be a huge benefit for you. I just know it's kind of status quo nowadays where so many guns have back straps that I really wish Taurus would have included that. Well, this is the overall first impressions of it, guys. I might have missed something. I'm sure I did. You guys will let me know. But I'll do a follow-up on this. Maybe a couple, you know, depending how much you guys would like to see this pistol in action. I know I've got some of the arm score here. I'm going to go run some of this. This is some Federal bulk pack stuff. This Aguila, which I really like their 22 ammo. I've got some of the Super Extra and random other types too. And that's another thing I've heard just from other people's reviews, that these like to eat a wide variety of ammo. So that's something also I want to check, because that's definitely a plus and a bonus for it. So yeah, the TX22. It's lightweight. The ergos aren't quite for my hands. Maybe they are for yours. But, man, that trigger really is nice. Wow, let me do that one more time, guys. It really is a good trigger. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they did a good job. Striker fired, single action. I'll take it apart in the next video because this video is already getting a little long, and we'll go from there. Taurus TX22. I got to get out and burn some ammo up, guys. With ammo prices right now, this is about the only stuff I feel like I can go shoot for a couple hours and not feel guilty. So I'm going to get out of here. Get out to the range. All right. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.